Hey there everyone, I am ShuffleCat and welcome to Shuffle Showcase. If it sounds a little bit like I'm trying to keep my voice down, that's because it's kind of late at night and I don't want to wake anybody up. But anyway, I felt like doing a little bit of Bloodline Champions stuff and just watching some games since I haven't done one for today yet. So that's what we're going to be doing. And this replay, of course, is on, I believe it's called Altar of Dorn's Vaig, and normally I hate that, this map, but also normally I play a melee tank. I play Thorn, usually, and I feel like Thorn is terrible on this map. And that is, of course, because you're kind of channeled along this, this alleyway, or this bridge. Yeah, it's called the bridge there. And all range can just like shoot at you from the other side of the bridge, and there's really not all that much you can do about it. But now that I have started playing a ranged character a little bit more than anything else, then that means that I now officially like this map. The only thing that I do not like is when a stalker puts himself up my butt and follows me for the rest of the game. So that's clearly what happened there. That's I'm going to blame that for my 58.8 TPS, but from there I can assure you that I learned to be a little bit closer to my healer, since if I were closer to my healer and not line of sighting of them, then that would have helped quite a bit. Now right here I obviously see that my glutton is going way up there, so I'm just going to put my shield on him whenever it's off cooldown. It's got 2 more seconds off left on it, so I'm going to try and hit him. I swear, I have such trouble with trying to hit people with shields. I can shoot people with projectiles just fine, but using an ability that auto-locks onto a person by just placing your mouse directly over them, oh man, this is gonna take some skill for me to pull that off. Now, hopefully we can pull this 2v2 off. It really helps not to hit any trances. Also, in terms of the survivability of StormCaller, I actually have started using Aegis of Gurgan. I'm not sure if I've talked about this in a showcase before. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've said it before that I was going to switch over to Aegis of Gurgan or something, and I just didn't have any replays of myself using it. So I have started using Aegis a little bit more. It is really awesome for anything, just pretty much anything. If you have toast that you need to cook, then Aegis of Gherkins is perfectly awesome for that. But seriously, it's really awesome because if you get trapped in somebody's ultimate, then you can just pop Aegis and then you're fine for about 2.5 seconds. I believe that's how long it lasts for. And also, like right here, I'm trying to get my Aegis up as quickly as possible, but it didn't work out too well. Also, if you're being chased by a melee, you can just use it right then and there. Pretty much the use that anybody would expect to have an Aegis for. Oh, that's painful. That is painful. That Glutton's ultimate directly into the pillar. Oh, I was crying for him right there. Anyway, yes, and especially StormCaller is pretty good with Aegis of Gherkins. Before I was using the Frost Shard, but I just wasn't comboing up the Frost with any abilities. You can, for instance, combo it up with a Meteor, but then you're using like 80 damage in order to do 260, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 240 damage. So that doesn't really seem worth it. Instead, you can use Aegis of Gherkins. You can spend 40 energy to block 300. At first I thought it was 200, but in fact it was actually 300. So that can be pretty good. You can actually block meteors with it. You can block half of an ultimate with it, which is pretty good. And in addition to your lightning shield, you can also block damage with it. One thing that I would suggest is don't use your Gherkins directly after using your lightning shield, for obvious reasons, being that your shield is going to be blocking damage that's going to be blocked anyway. Either that or it's not going to penetrate through. I'm not sure what the priorities are between Aegis of Gurgons and Lightning Shield, like which one actually is absorbing the damage, but it doesn't really matter all that much in my honest opinion at that point. So, that's done. I have been thinking a little bit about my Mark of Assassin medallion. I do get behind people sometimes, and as a ranged, you have more backs to choose from in that kind of a sense. But I've been kind of looking at the, what is it called? It slipped my mind. I had it like a second ago, but I have no idea what the medallion is called. It's the one that gives you extra damage for 7 seconds after you've killed someone. That one is pretty awesome. And probably non-coincidentally, I've just realized that this whole time I've been kind of blabbering on about medallions and that sort of really awesome stuff, but I haven't really talked all that much about what's really occurring in this game in particular. Just non-coincidentally also just taking moments to note things like, oh, that Glenn, he totally whiffed his ultimate. Yeah, that makes me look better or something. I don't know. Anyway, so that's going to wrap up the first game. I have another game that's sure to be interesting coming up here in just a minute. Welcome back. I'm playing StormCaller on Citadel of Alma. I'm not entirely sure what happens in this replay, but it caught my attention because it's called Ending Shufflecat, or however I like to mark these replays. Usually whenever I put ending on a replay, that's because the final moments of the final round is very, very interesting. So I don't remember what it is, and that was actually a little bit on purpose there, where I used the Eye of the Storm into a spinning Ravener because I kind of did not want to deal with him at that moment. I didn't really want to space away or use any of my abilities on him besides that. Anyway, so kind of interesting to see what this ending is going to be. Whatever it is, it was phenomenal enough for me to mention it to myself. So at this exact moment, I saw that Ravener used his space and I had my ultimate, so at that point I did decide to use my ultimate at the expense of my life. I did actually have my lightning shield up, I'm pretty sure, which is always a good thing. I forgot to do that when I was first starting off with StormCaller. Whenever you use your ultimate, it's usually a good idea to put your shield on yourself just before you use it. Also to throw down a hailstorm just so that you can do a little bit of extra damage. I did the math once, and if you put down a hailstorm space onto your opponent, have your lightning shield on, and if it hits them and you use your ultimate on one target, one after the other, you actually deal a little bit more than 1,000 damage, and and that's before power. So if you have full power spec'd up, or even I only have like 360 or so power for the spec that I use for StormCaller, you can actually get quite a bit of additional damage from your power spec. So one thing that I like to do with StormCaller, I've probably done it at least once or twice in this game. I think I noticed at least one time when I've done it, is I like to throw down hailstorms and kind of predict where people are going to be going. Like, usually people will exit a AoE in a predictable manner, and then you can throw down a meteor in their way. And what actually will happen is usually the meteor will knock them back into, right there I kind of did it, the meteor will actually knock them back into the hailstorm just as the hailstorm pops and as it stuns them, which is pretty cool. How the timing kind of matches up. You'll see that the delay on a meteor is about 0.8 seconds, and of course the delay on a hailstorm is 1.6. So if you put about 0.8 delay between when you place down the hailstorm and when you place down the meteor, then you can actually get that timing perfectly. So that's generally how long it would take you to figure out what direction somebody's going to be moving in. You can also probably cast an M1 within that time, so it's kind of like hailstorm, M1, meteor will usually give you somewhere around that timing. I haven't exactly played around with it enough. What I would probably end up doing is like do a slow-mo of me doing it perfectly, and that ultimate was not perfect at all, not in the slightest sense of the word. I would like to, if anybody really wants to hear about balance changes or anything, if I were to suggest something to be changed about StormCaller, it would be his ultimate. And my first suggestion would be to actually add a dash to it, so that when your mouse is in a position and then you hit F, you jump to that position. It would be a kind of short jump, and then he would start doing the lightning hands. And that, in my opinion, would be really helpful for him, because for now, whenever he wants to use his ultimate on somebody, he has to space on them, and then he has to use the ultimate, which is a little bit aggravating, considering that after you've used your ultimate, you've been standing around for, it is 2 seconds, is it not? 2.4 seconds. You've been standing around taking damage for 2.4 seconds. I'm going to speed this up for you, because apparently what I find to be an interesting ending is us killing this guy with sudden death. Anyway, so you've been standing around for 2.4 seconds, taking a whole bunch of damage from people, and now pretty much your first thought is going to be, I need to run away. And if you use space in order to get onto somebody, in order to use your ultimate, you are going to be a little bit SOL when everybody is still focusing you afterwards, etc., etc. Now, I had one more thing to say. Oh, also, if you've used your lightning shield while you're using your ultimate, then additionally, also that's pretty much you're out of luck. So that round was kind of interesting. I'm not sure why we decided to sit in the middle and use our healing medallion. It's not an unviable strategy. I've certainly done it more times than just this. It's a good idea in that it actually allows you to get a little bit more ahead of somebody. If they are running around and doing chip damage every time you catch up with them, they actually can end up killing you. And that's, of course, a really big problem. I've actually I've myself finished a 2 versus 1, where obviously I was the one, just by kind of running away from somebody and convincing them that I was in a bad position or something like that. They space onto me, and then I use my ultimate, where they don't have their space anymore, and they can't escape from my ultimate, which is also a really good strategy to use in a 2 versus 1 situation. So in order to avoid that sort of thing, usually if somebody runs away, I'll usually sit kind of near the energy rune, heal up. They're going to let me grab the energy rune every time it comes up, so that's in my favor. I don't really want to chase after them. Though it does have its situations. Sometimes it can be, oh, that must have been it. That must have been the ending that I found so special. Don't worry, I will actually go back over that in a little bit of a slow motion if you didn't see what just now happened, because I was a little bit curious about what happened just there, and I kind of wanted to watch it in a little bit of a slow-mo, so let me just speed this up real quick. I was talking about, it's situational, because sometimes grabbing the middle and then just sitting there healing can be a disadvantage. It really depends on how much energy you have versus the other guy. It's that sort of thing. You really have to have a plan about what you think the other person's going to do, where you feel that you land in this certain matchup. I feel like it's right here. That's why I'm kind of... nope, it's not here. Okay. I actually get feared away, and then it's right when he uses his ultimate. So he uses his ulti. Not yet. Okay, there it is. Yes, so as soon as he landed, I actually EX spaced into him, took out his last health, and then EX spaced onto this guy right there. So that that was definitely an interesting ending. I'm kind of glad that I gave myself the situation to watch that. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.